absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your horoscope for February of 2024, where I have to tell you, first of all, I'm thrilled about February, and February has a lot to offer, and I mean to every single sign, which, as you're listening to this video, you can watch for the aspects and the transits on the screen, and you can also click in the description box down below and go to your particular sign. So everybody's going to be taken care of in this video, and I really think that everybody's going to be taken care of in February. Now, the energy of February speaks full on to go, do it. This is the time right now. Move forward. It is a really lovely, lovely month because not only is nothing in retrograde, nothing is in pre or post retrograde shadow time either. So we have got this lovely, lovely energy to be working with. So let me just say, let's get after it. All of the planets are systems go. Pluto has moved into Aquarius, so we also are not dancing between the forward-backward motion of that particular planet. It is in Aquarius. It is moving forward. It will come back into Capricorn. We're not done. We didn't arrive. That's end of the year kind of energy, but we have really just got all systems go. Not to mention, we are going to see an abundance of Aquarian energy from the beginning of the month where Mercury moves into Aquarius. We've got the new moon in Aquarius. We've got Mars entering into Aquarius. We've got Venus coming into Aquarius, right? We've just got all of this Aquarian energy that really kicks up and kicks into motion. So every sign will have a concentration in a particular area that you can really move forward. It's very specific this month, and I absolutely love that. And then we will welcome in, of course, Pisces season, which as we're welcoming in Pisces season, it's this signal to all of us to remember that Pisces is at the end of our zodiac. It is the completion of everything that we have learned, and we are attempting to assimilate what we still need and what it's okay to let go of. So here we are, February, right before we're going to be coming to the astrological new year, which actually happens in March in Western astrology. And we're at this place where it's like, do it, take it on, believe in yourself, move that forward, believe in yourself, let that go. Whatever is going to clear the slate for what actually needs to be worked on and what actually needs to be grown through as we move forward into the next astrological year. So I tell you, I have got just brilliant energy, I think, and hopes for all of us in this February vibration. Okay, beautiful friends, before we jump in here, a couple things. If you haven't gotten your digital transit calendar from our friends at Wise Skies Collective, please jump in the description box down below. Get it, check it out. I have also got a new course that is launching here in March, and I would love to see you in there. If you are one of the people that has astrology knowledge, you've got the planets, the signs, the houses, the aspects down, you've got it, but you don't know how to put it together. You can't quite read the chart just yet, or you're unsure how to make it all into a cohesive story. I have got a class for you because you guys sometimes get left. You get left in the middle, and I see you. So come with me for 6 weeks, and we are going to do a chart synthesis and interpretation class. That's all we're going to do is speak these charts out, because my goal this year is to make sure that you are astrologically fluent. You can speak, read, and write the energy and the language of astrology. That is really what I would love to offer to you this year. So come and join me. We'll be together live. I will be there with you so you can ask me questions in real time. We will work together. We're going to read real charts. So come and join me. All the information's in the description box down below. And of course, if you're ready for a consultation, you need a little bit of guidance, you're in the weeds a little, or you could just use support this year. Remember, with mentorship, we go further faster. So you can find my details to connect in the description box down below. All right, beautiful friends, let's get ready to jump in here for all signs and talk about what February has to offer. Hey there, Aries. As February 2024 is kicking off, you've got an abundance of energy that is going to be moving into the vibration of Aquarius. So what you can know right away is that your 11th house is going to be particularly strong this month. Now, we've also got Pluto that has moved into Aquarius, lighting up that 11th house space as well. So there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of changes coming to your friendships, your social groups, but also, Aries, the long-range goals and dreams and aspirations that you have have for yourself, they are going to be in a state of absolute change. And this is great because it's going to let you see that the work you've been doing in your life, especially in the last 20 years, some of those dreams are absolutely valid. And now you need the right people and the right tribe around you for you to really take your place and position of authority and be able to lead the groups, have your own voice, and take your seat of power. And I absolutely love that for you. Now, as we are traveling right here at the beginning of the month on the 5th, we have got Mercury moving into the vibration of Aquarius as well. So this is going to give us a light up of energy, Aries, just right away, straight out of the gate for where your communication is at. Now, in the Aquarian vibration, Mercury is quite comfortable because it's working in air, and you're going to have it here all the way until the end of the month, okay? So when Mercury is traveling through this 11th house of Aquarian vibration for you, first of all, you might really be doing a lot of learning from groups that are around you, right? Like you're just kind of pulling in knowledge, or in the groups that you are around. Maybe you're leading something, Aries, and you're kind of like, okay, we need to innovate. I need to look at this a bit differently. Let's come at it from a different perspective. Now, the 11th house also, Aries, drops you into the box of technology. What is happening for you technologically? You know, are you pushing? Are you resisting and fighting against it? Or are you realizing that this can actually be a boost to not only the way you're functioning in the world, but also it could be a career boost to you? Because something I want you to kind of keep in mind as we're traveling this month is that Mars, your ruling planet, is still in Capricorn. It's in your career house. That's absolutely helpful to you at this particular time. And as Mercury is going to travel through this Aquarian vibration, what it's going to do is help you not only have the ideas, have them come to the table, but then Mars will actually help you enact them. So if you needed to do something simple like fix your laptop because it was broken, update your phone, any of these technological things, you've actually got a lot of great vibration, especially until we get to the end of the month, to be able to work with that. Now, the other planets show up in time to help you with that as well, starting out with this new moon that we're going to be having on February 9th. Now, this moon is going to be at 20 degrees of Aquarius. So, you know what, Aries, make sure you are locating that 20 degrees of Aquarius specifically on your own individual chart, but also, you know, make some space for looking at where is this lighting up that 11th house vibration for you. Because as it comes to us in Aquarius, it's the sign of our future. It's the sign of change, of innovation, and where you would like to focus your hopes and your dreams, you know? So right out of the gate, especially considering that Pluto is here, I'm thinking to myself, Aries, in your future, in what you're creating, designing, envisioning, what are you even excited about? Because Pluto is going to make a huge change in this area. So where you are super focused on what your dreams are and where you'd like to make progress, these energies are set up to help you, okay? Now, this particular moon is squaring against Uranus that's over in Taurus. Now, Uranus is one of the ruling planets of Aquarius in the first place. So we've got a lunation that is squaring against its ruler. Now, this can bring... it can be fast, okay? So what you're feeling, what your instincts are, what your reflex against something is, can be really, really fast. Or it can be this energy where you're like, well, hold on, I'm not feeling particularly patient. I want to make changes in this right now, and I'm going to do it right now, right? It like jumps the impulse up a little bit more. Now, in one vein, I want to say, you know, don't write any checks that your hiney can't cash, okay? Like maybe don't do that, but also enjoy the excitement, enjoy the stimulation, rebel a little bit, right? If you are bored to death, Aries, with what's going on in your dreams and your aspirations, if you feel like you need the stimulation of seeing a new group, trying something else, you know, if you're like, I need to take courage, I'm an Aries, I need courage, and I need to go forward and learn this new app or this new digital space, whatever it is, this is not the time to be boring. Take it on, enjoy the excitement, you know, push forward, but don't be so unsettled that you're so impulsive or you have these emotional outbursts that are coming from feelings. This is a lunation, right? So instead, plant your seeds of intention to be that Aries that is willing to clear the air if it needs to be cleared, right? You're not afraid of upsetting the apple cart if you need to, but you're also not willing to just, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Welcome new experiences, welcome new encounters into your life. That's a great way to plant these seeds of intention to really have it be delicious and beneficial to you, especially because, like I said, along the way, we've got, Mercury, the Sun, Venus, and Mars all coming into Aquarius. So truly, the energy that you want to change and you want to move forward here is absolutely 10,000% in your favor, and they are going to help you to make those changes, okay? All right, now one more thing that I wanted to point out and share with you while we're talking about this Aquarius vibration for just a minute is actually two things. One, Mercury is the health planet in your chart when we're talking about the general, okay? As Mercury is traveling through this Aquarian vibration, I want you paying a lot of attention to anything happening around your knees and your calves. Okay, so in this area, so listen, if you're one of my Aries friends who's like a gym buff, do all the calf raises this month. Just do all the calf raises. Plus, don't calves look beautiful in shoes? Like when you really are doing your calf work, it's really very nice, okay? So I just want you to pay attention to that. But as we get to the end of the month and we get to the 23rd and we see Mercury move into the vibration of Pisces, I want you to start paying attention to how you are taking care of your feet. Okay, Mercury here, I feel like in Aries particular can be exciting and it can bring a lot of inflammation to this particular area. And you are on the go, Aries. You are out there being this beautiful warrior in the world, but also the feet that you're standing on, the way that you need to hold yourself and be confident. Maybe even Aries, some boundary issues that you are working on, and the skill of actually stepping into your own leadership may be something that you're doubting, and we'll really see that come from focusing on spirituality and care around your feet. So I want you to be paying a lot of attention to that, okay? When we get to the 13th, we see Mars move into Aquarius. The 16th will bring Venus into the vibration of Aquarius. And I'll just say this for the I'm just going to say it for Aries, okay? Because when Venus gets into Aquarius and this lights up your 11th house space, this can be a place where honestly, two things can happen. One, you find yourself, the friend becomes the lover. That can really be a thing. Something from the social group kicks up, and next thing you know, the person you thought was just a friend or someone you thought you were just friends with becomes the lover, okay? Now, this can also be in committed, stable relationships. Are you guys are you bored to death? You know what I mean? Is it time for you guys to go out and do, you go to something social together and it kind of stimulates the two of you and you're like, yeah, I forgot how interesting you are as a partner, right? So whether you're single or you're coupled up, this is a great thing. But also Venus entering into the vibration of Aquarius gives me the signal that making money in a digital form or setting up something that can be a financial resource for you for your future is absolutely 10,000% real for you as we're traveling this month, okay? All right. Now, Venus also being that financial planet for you, I'm just telling you, it does favor the tech world, okay? All right. When we get to the 18th, we see the Sun enter into the vibration of Pisces. And then on the 23rd, we see Mercury entering into Pisces. So right now, we've got your 12th house lit up. This is a time, honestly, to rest or to look at where you need to release. What needs to culminate, be done. You need to finish the transition or get ready to transition to what's next. One of the biggest things you're going to be transitioning to is your next birthday season, right? Your next year is here. It is upon you. How are you doing in your spiritual life? Do you feel settled? Do you feel grounded? Do you have a stretching and a meditation practice that you feel like can honestly support you? Do you feel like your heart and your house of spirituality is powerful and loaded with wonder, right? So where is the degree of excellence and where is the degree of space that you make for yourself to sit down and have an honest review of what you have learned about life, about yourself, about your others, about how you love, about boundaries over this last year? Pisces season will absolutely be bringing this to your attention. Now, as we're going to close out the month, we are going to see that we've got a full moon happening, and the full moon is going to be at 5 degrees of Virgo. Okay, so we know that the sun is over in Pisces. We know that the moon is over in Virgo. But at this full moon in Virgo, the full moon is asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make some kind of decision, right? We have to make a decision and we need to adjust in some way, shape, or form. So as we're looking at this particular full moon in Virgo, what do we want to do? We want to pay really close attention to details. You know, you want to go over your chore list, your home list, what you need to get done, your health list, your practical daily routine kind of things, and make sure that you've got everything sorted. Right? You want things to be the very best that they can be. But in order to do that, you have to sit down and actually go over the list. You have to consider it, but also the thing that I like is that this full moon is in a wonderful, wonderful conversation with Jupiter over in Taurus. You're in an earth trine here. So in a very practical, earthy way, what you've got is an opportunity to quite practically get things done in the material plane. And I think to feel wonderfully lifted and inspired while it's happening as well. We can see Virgo tending to be like, we call it tiki smeekies, which is like picky. We can see Virgo being picky, but this actually relaxes the attitude a little bit. It's like, you know what? Let me just go with the flow. Life has been life. Life is out here lifing, right? And I'm okay. And I'm grateful, bringing gratitude, bringing generosity, bringing a willingness to support other people and to accept support while you're growing on your own journey, I think is really great. The other thought that I was having for you, absolutely, Aries, is that this particular moon can have you so inspired or inspired enough that you will actually, it boosts your name in public. It boosts people's awareness of you, and this can change your public profile all the way around. So, Aries, whatever it is that you are going for, whatever it is that you are looking to achieve in your world moving forward, I can't wait to see where the Virgo energy of, now we bring what has just been an idea into a tangible reality, and we let them mix. We need the vision of the Pisces energy, but we also need the material, tangible evidence of what that vision is when it becomes real in Virgo. And that's how we balance out these axes here. And if you can remember, Aries, that the universe has planted something inside of you, and if you feel a calling towards it, it's because it's starting to bloom and it is starting to blossom. And as long as what you want will also be of service to those around you, including yourself, it will grow. All right, Aries, have a gorgeous month. Hello, beautiful Taurus, and welcome to February in Taurus. Listen, what's going down is going to go down fast this month. So hold on to your beautiful little Taurus locks and let's talk about what the month has to offer to you. Now, first and foremost, the big meal deal this month is career. It is your 10th house is absolutely loaded. We have no retrogrades going on. It's all powerfully moving forward. And when I tell you that the events that are happening and the way things are progressing is going to be quick this month, I absolutely mean it. Now, the one caveat that I have for you this month is Taurus. I cannot say it. I cannot stress it enough. And I want you to get really honest, put your hand on your heart with me and hear me say this to you. You have got to take care of your health. And a piece of that health care has got to be rest. Okay, so please make no doubt about it. That's absolutely critical and important this month. Okay, all right, beautiful Taurans. Let's talk about what else we've got going on here. Now, as we're coming into the month on the 5th, we see that Mercury is moving straight away into this Aquarius vibration. Now, we've already got Pluto over here, okay? Pluto has moved into Aquarius, lighting up your 10th house space of careers, social name in public. What would we call you? What is your title? What is your role? But as Mercury enters into your 10th house, in the general, what we want to also remember is that Mercury acts as a financial planet for you in the general. So as a financial planet enters into your 10th house space until almost the end of the month, this is a phenomenal time for you to be looking at your finances, to be making financial decisions or investments, especially around your career. Now, the other thing that I keep thinking for you is that because Mercury is such a communication planet, is that truly, Taurus, if what you need is a coach, is a mentor, or something like that, or it's time for you to be moving into the role of coaching and mentoring in your career, this may be something that's really important for you to begin thinking of, because this is a powerful month for you to be doing that. You have so much energy flying over here into this area. Now, the other thing is that Mercury, because it's not retrograde, okay? it's bringing new information. Mercury always brings new information when it's not retrograde. So if you had something going on in your career or your title, and when I say title, I mean, what do we call you in public? Do we call you employed? Do we call you unemployed? Do we call you mother? Do we call you sister? What do we call you in public? Any change to your title. If there's been anything that hasn't been clear, I think a lot of clarity comes to you by the time we get to the 23rd of the month. So whatever it is that you need to be empowered to let that title that we call you in public function very well, this Mercury will help you, and so will the rest of the planets that get ready to jump in here. Now, on the 9th, we've got a new moon happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius, okay? So this is also obviously happening in this 10th house space for you. So one of the things that I would love for you to be considering is that, first of all, we've got a new moon. So you want to be planting your seeds of intention to begin something new. And it doesn't mean that you have full clarity around it. It just means that you're in a position to realize, like, okay, I have an opportunity here to begin something in a new direction. The newness is here. It is happening. It is coming my direction. Okay. But this moon is also squaring Uranus in your sign. Now, the moon in Aquarius, one of its rulers is Uranus, which is in your sign. So we've got a lot of power in this story that is happening here. So one of the things I want to suggest for you at this particular moon is to remember that, first of all, it can bring a lot of extra stimulation in. And where is it going to be? In your career, in what you're doing. So this month, I'm telling you, can be busy. And it is incredibly important that you prioritize rest. So what this moon can be an opportunity for you to do, Taurus, to say, yes, okay, I got to work. I got to do all these things. I got to do life, but I need to innovate. I need to rebel against my own routine. I need to stop being distracted by all these old things over here and rebel against my own routine and create something new that allows me to rest so that I am giving quality over quantity. Now, this may be a huge rearrangement for you this month, Taurus, but this is the kind of rearrangement that is going to save your health, first of all, and second of all, is going to give you a lot of clarity, Taurus, that these energies, Uranus in your sign, you've been moving quite quickly. And Taurus, in an evolutionary sense, is actually not meant to move that fast. So where have you been moving so fast that you've lost contact with your body and you have to rest or slow down in order to really hear it? Now, let this month be sexy. Let it be sexy. Let it be gorgeous. Let it help you move things in this career house absolutely forward. Make brilliant career decisions for yourself and for your business. And even if it's just the business of your home, right? If you are the CEO or the CFO of your home, if you are a homemaker, whatever your role is that you're doing, let this energy help you move those things forward in an exciting kind of way. Now, the other thought that I had about this is because health needs so much attention this month, that I want you paying attention while we're moving in Aquarius vibration to the space around your knees all the way down to your calves, okay? Paying attention to this area in the body. A lot of electricity can be happening here. There can be emotional outbursts. Truly, if you're rubbing your legs, Taurus, and you're just sitting and you're being and you're letting your body tell you the story of what's going on, touch these areas of your body and see what stories are coming up for you. And sometimes it can feel like, whoa, that's a real emotional pain point for me. And I didn't realize how much I've been putting on my body, and it's also a really great opportunity to kind of clear the air with your own space. So I want you keeping that in mind, okay? Now, just after that, we are going to see on the 13th that Mars moves into Aquarius. On the 16th, Venus moves into Aquarius. So now this area is fully attracting, and it is wonderful for financial gain. You can really make some money moves. You can make some relationship moves this month. And more than anything, I think that if you do it well, and depending on where you are in your lessons, it is a month where your reputation in public can really take a beautiful social turn, right? In the business of social credit, does matter. It does matter in our communities. It matters in our hearts. It's when it runs us wild and I can't make any decisions without what everybody else thinks of me that it's the problem. But to also have something that you do, also who you are, be loved and respected by the communities that we're in, this is something that I think is really gorgeous and really worth it. Now, on the 18th, we see the sun moving into the vibration of Pisces, and on the 23rd, we see Mercury moving into Pisces. Now, as these two transitions happen for us, again, I really want you paying attention to your health, but as we get the sun and Mercury into Pisces, I want you to move down in the body to those ankles and to those feet, Taurus, okay? Where do you need to stand your ground? Where do you need to transition? You need to rest. You need to massage your feet. You need to see what are other spiritual lessons that are tied up in the energy of the ankles and the feet, as that's where Pisces in the body directs our attention to. And really, I just keep seeing this for you all month long, Taurus. You have to put up a boundary between the work and the rest. And so you may find a lot of information happening for you here in that particular vibration. Now, this also stimulates your 11th house space, okay? So social media, friends, social groupings, and your long-range goals, dreams, and designs for yourself. What is it that you want for yourself moving forward? Are you aligned with the right tribe? You know, are you feeling like you're able to support the social and friendship groupings around you? Now, sometimes when we get into 11th house season, which you are right now, it's not actually you. It's something in a social group that kind of goes crazy, and people need help and they need support, they need love. And it can be a very torn quality for people to say, oh, my Taurus friend will hold it down. They're there and they're steady. And your job is to really have an evaluation with yourself this month, Taurus, and say, can I hold it down, or do I need to rest? Do I need to take me to the doctor? Do I need, what needs to happen in this Taurus body before I'm saving the day for everybody else? You know what I mean? Because being of service is not wrong, but if your house isn't in order, you don't have anything to pour for somebody else, beautiful Taurus. So let's get it in order. Let's get it in order before the springtime comes, okay? All right, now as we're going to close out this month, beautiful Tauran friends, we have got a full moon happening in fellow earth sign of Virgo. So we're going to have a full moon happening at 5 degrees, and this is going to light up your 5th house space. So something around children. Okay, your children or childlike energy. Maybe this is the conception of something in Virgo, who's a fellow earth energy. You know, I feel like the earth energies get together and they're like, let's be productive. Let's do practical, productive things. You know, and so you get kind of on board with that. But the full moon here, Taurus, is asking you to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. And one of the big adjustments may be, how do you do productivity, right? But also, how do your children do productivity? What's going on? Is there a schedule? Is there a routine change or something like that happening? You know, are your children at a place where it's like, hey, we need to tackle this project together, or it's time for you to take on certain chores? You know, what are the details of day-to-day living that you're going to need to take on and look at as this Virgo vibration is going through? Now, the other thing about it is that this particular moon is in a trine to Jupiter. Okay, so while that's fantastic, and it's like, yeah, hey, hold on, this is a trine, this is wonderful, you know, harmony kind of energy. There's a lot of inspiration that can come with this. But the challenge here, I think, is, again, it's very Jupiterian. You can take on too much. Or your children, you can find, if you slow down and you're getting into the details, you know, are your children taking on too much? Are you taking on too much risk, too much pleasure, too much 5th house thing? That could be a downturn of this particular energy. But if you are focused on things like improving a daily situation in your life, bringing more rest, more joy, because taking a rest can be seen as taking a risk just as much as falling in love, okay? So when you make changes, that can be a risk, okay? So here you have a lot of inspiration around you. Surround yourself this month, Taurus, with content that is about how to work smarter, not harder in your business, how to give yourself permission and the mindset and the soul set that rest is okay. You know, and the same for your children, because they will be able to follow suit with what it is that you are learning potentially. And yes, I'm even talking about those children that are grown as hell and out of the house. When they see you change and adjust, they get courage to follow suit. The parent-child dynamic is incredibly powerful, even if the relationship is damaged a little bit. So Virgo being that sign of health, again, I point you to look at your health, focus on it, work out the health issues that are there, invite mentorship. Jupiter is the planet of the guru, so invite mentorship into your life to get your health together, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful Taurans, I think that this month has a lot to offer to you, and I would love to see you paying attention to how to really be this powerful fixed earth energy that you are, and the healthiest version of that is available. Bye, Taurus. Hey, Gemini, welcome to February, and this month has got a lot to offer to this 9th house area for you. So when we're talking about travel, higher education, legal things having to do with immigration, but also one of the biggest things that I put into the 9th house is faith. And, you know, when I discuss faith at an evolutionary level, I'm not talking about what you believe in. Okay, that's fine. But I want to see the coupling of faith plus trust together. Now, faith is what you believe. You're like, I believe the universe has got my back. But the trust comes in when you're acting and you're taking faithful actions like the universe has got your back. That is when I think changes get made. Because if not, you've got this faith, right? This belief in something, but no action to back that up. And this month, if you've got some of that going, I really think that the cosmos give you a chance to like work that theological idea out, maybe have discussions that see where you're at in your actual belief structure that are guiding you. Now, other things in the 9th house, like I said, are higher education, training, publishing, marketing, broadcasting, all of these things. My students, my people putting things out at a broadcasting level, this is your month, honey. Go get it. Like, do it. Take your exam, study. It's almost like the knowledge can kind of fall in here for you. And that is an absolute beautiful thing to be doing this month. Now, right here, as we're jumping off into the month, we see your ruling planet not in retrograde. So let's just have a little celebration about that. But Mercury is going to enter into Aquarius, and this is going to light up that 9th house space. So we've got this conversation going here already. Now, Pluto has come into this 9th house as well. So truly, some things you believe, some legal issues that you were having before, really the way that you need to expand out into the world has already begun its changes. I send you back to between March and May of 2023, what was happening in the 9th house for you. Were you taking a new position in the world as an expert or a leader in your community, in your field, in whatever it is that you're talking about? Are you the teacher talking about faith or teaching about legal things? Because this is a place where you're coming into a new title for absolutely sure. And Mercury moving here helps bring new information. When Mercury is not in direct fashion, it brings new information to this area. So if you needed information about a legal case, if you needed information about making travel plans or education, Mercury is bringing new information here that will clarify everything that needs to happen in this 9th house. Now, on the 9th, we've got a new moon happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius. And this particular moon is also going to be in square to Uranus. So a couple things here. First of all, the new moon is going to be your opportunity to plant your seeds of intention here in this 9th house, okay? So, you know, what do you want to begin here? And especially, one of the questions I have is, what do you want to begin in terms of how you communicate? In how you communicate what you believe? What do you value today that is important for you in how you communicate and how you are communicated with? What is the value of the currency of time that you're letting people consume your time, and what are they giving you for it? That's a really important question this month, I think. And the Aquarius new moon makes you very open-minded to being willing to make those changes. Now, this moon being in square to Uranus in Taurus down there, remember that Uranus is one of the ruling planets of Aquarius. So we've got your emotions challenging its ruling energy in Taurus. So first of all, whatever happens here, it's a great space for a good old-fashioned emotional outburst. And I say it all the time, but sometimes we have to have a breakdown before we have a breakthrough, Gemini. And you are an air energy. You might literally have to talk out how you're feeling in order to get sorted here. You're like, okay, well, wait a minute. And then it comes to you. You're talking and you're saying it and you're like, yeah, well, what's really happening here is I don't want to behave in this relationship anymore. I don't value this anymore. You're up and willing to make changes. And I love it. I love it. It's a faster moving energy. So if changes need to be made here, or you need to take action in some way, be about that life. What I don't want for you is to make changes because you're in the middle of a mood swing. Right? I don't want you to burn down a relationship because you got caught in your feelings. But sometimes these things happen, right? The will of the universe is at play. But you can just know that this moon does have a little bit of excitement to it. And some of the excitement I also strongly believe is about a willingness to make big change in this area of your life. You're like, no, I might need to be challenging my ideas of what I want for the future, or maybe my ideas for the future, my belief for the future is challenged, but I am willing to go after it. I am willing to do what needs to be happened. I am willing to go to that inner resource of myself and say, what is blocking me? And ask questions of those around me to help me move forward. So once you can do that, I think that you can make a ton of progress this month, okay? On the 13th, we see Mars move into the energy of Aquarius, and then on the 16th, we see Venus move into Aquarius. So this 9th house is absolutely locked and loaded, and I do think that basically it's a good month. It's going to be in the handling of the relationships, right? Because we can navigate other people, but we can't make them do what we want them to do. So this may be the only challenge that presents itself. But also in the 9th house, we've got Mars and everybody and their sister over here. This could be a time that you are traveling. And for some of you, travel will be you're getting on the plane, you're going to Greece. For other people, it really just may be that you are watching, listening, and exploring something that is so far out of your normal zone, but you're interested in, you want to consume it. Maybe you're watching those videos about funnels, or you're watching videos about different religions, and you're willing and you're in and you're consuming it. And what it does for you is it becomes, first of all, this boosting energy that is of absolute benefit for you, because it changes, it enhances your ability to expand your mind, your knowledge, and your resources beyond your problems. Does that make sense? Like if you're like, I've always had this mindset, or I've consistently had this challenge and I haven't been able to get past it, and you find yourself watching a video about alligators, and it's something that maybe has nothing to do with what you were even thinking you were going to look at that day, and you're like, oh, alligators do it like this. And it gives you this insight, it's that spiritual jujitsu that the universe has available for you to expand. And then you're consuming it, and you're inspired, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, on the 18th, we see the sun move into Pisces. On the 23rd, we see Mercury move into the energy of Pisces, and this lights up your 10th house space. Now, this is the career zone that lights up and gets going. So how we actually see you in public, and you're going to start to make some different decisions, some very different decisions, I think, happening here, as Mercury is your ruling planet. And it's going to be making some beautiful aspects to Jupiter while it's here in this Pisces vibration. I think that one of the things you can count on this season is being seen and being perceived very well in public. Now the other thing I want to point out, and I'm sharing this with everybody because I think it's important, especially as Mercury gets into Pisces, I really want you starting to pay attention, Gemini, to your body, especially anything having to do with the ankles and the feet, because this is going to be the place you're going to be paying attention to. First of all, in the ankles and the feet, we say, how stable am I in what I believe? How stable am I in my body? Where do I need to hold boundaries in some way? And also, where do I need to really stand up on my own 2 feet in this season and own my space, right? This is going to be, and where do I need to release some stories? The 10th house, you could be releasing stories of that family unit of yours. Where do you need to let that go? That is not serving you anymore. Or how do you take the story of your family unit and you make it valuable into your life? And by valuable, it means it will help someone else, okay? Now, to close out this month, we have got a full moon that's going to be happening at 5 degrees of Virgo, so just across the street there from that Pisces energy. And this full moon is in beautiful trine to Jupiter. So we know things can get really big really fast. There's a lot of room for massive expansion really, really quickly here. Now, the full moon here is going to ask us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. And where in your 4th house? Home, family, real estate, property, my foundations, psychological foundations, things having to do with your mother or your parents as a unit, right? In Virgo, the thing we're looking to do here is to pay close attention to the details. Get things off your plate, get them off the list, right? Be discerning. What actually needs your attention in your home zone? For some of you, this could actually be is that you are making a move. And with Jupiter involved, it could feel very overwhelming. There's so many things to do. I'm taking on too much. There's too much information, right? So if we're taking on, in whatever direction you're looking at this, if you're taking on too much, this feeling of burnout and overwhelm and being run down can really, really come in. But where Virgo, I think, is phenomenal with its discernment qualities are these 2 questions. One, is this really important? Because stuff and people equal stress, right? It can be wonderful, it can be lovely stress. Your body doesn't know one stress from the other, it just knows stress. So here, Virgo is going to go, well, I'm going to discern in the material, tangible world what actually needs my attention, because I only have so much stress to be handing out to people. You know what I mean? To people, places. I only have so much stress to be living in this house. And it needs to be the kind of stress that I think is valuable to be putting my time into. So in your family unit, in your home, if you have a routine, if you've got things that are too stressful, overly stressful, Jupiter level stressful, Virgo's full moon here is going to go, get that off the plate. Stop doing that. Stop using that, stop working with that, stop investing in that, right? But the other thing it's going to help you to do is to resolve some things and go, okay, how can I make my daily routine the very best that it can be? How can I make my home the very best that it can be so that it is a place, it is a sanctuary of service to me and the people in it? Now, for some people, you're going to go all out and next thing I know, the bathroom will be redecorated in full crystal bowls. Okay, if that's you and that's your life, I love you and I support that for you. For other people, it is simply going to be a rearrangement of your attitude in how you show up in your home, in your everyday life, even if you just live by yourself. So this is a phenomenal new moon, Gemini, to really, in fellow Gemini or in fellow Mercury ruled energy, to go, where can I release and transition into something that sings health into my day-to-day reality? All right, my beautiful Geminis, have a gorgeous month. Let me know how it goes in the comment section down below. Hello, my beautiful Cancer friends, and welcome to your horoscope for February of 2024. We're Cancer this month. You have got the green light, and green means go from the universe to really be making some decisions to create a space for what is like waiting right outside of your door in terms of success to come to you. But first, you've got to deal with what's going on in this 8th house area, which is our joint resources. It is death, debt, taxes. It is the places that we need to do a nice deep detox, right? And so it's almost this sense this month, Cancer, that the universe is like, yes, go, do it. Now you have permission and tons of support, but you got to move that thing out of the way. So the first thing that came to my mind was really doing a financial and a relationship detox this month so that you can really invite that success in. I really think of this concept that my spiritual teacher and I talk a lot about, that you cannot call in the new while you've got the old holding its place, right? So you've got to move those old blessings out of the way to let the new ones come on in. And that's exactly what this month, I believe, has to offer you. Now, like I said, the 8th house is going to be absolutely lit for you, but this month is so well supported with so much energy coming into your 8th house that you and your partner, that you and your joint resources, whether that be your partner, your partner's money, intimacy, a loan, paying down debt, doing a nice detox, studying your astrology, whatever it is, you have so much cosmic support to be able to do it that it should be, a little bit easier than I think it's been in the months past. Now, as soon as we get into the month, on the 5th, we're going to see Mercury stepping into this vibration of Aquarius, lighting up this 8th house space. So first of all, I do want to say that I think as you're traveling with this 8th house energy, you're quite intuitive about it. There's something, it's like, because Mercury brings new information. So it's like maybe this is a fresh set of eyes that is coming to you where you're like, oh, I really need to let that go, or we need to clean off this bookshelf. We can only have so many astrology books. We're not actually reading all of them, right? Or I got like 6 different, passwords for this account over here, and I need to just minimize. I need to do a detox and bring it down to what I actually need to work with. And then you have clarity. There's just these fresh eyes that are put on everything. Now, the new moon that's happening on February 9th, that's going to be happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius, is further going to help this energy, because it's your opportunity, Cancer, to plant your seeds of intention. Now, we also saw that Pluto moved into the vibration of Aquarius. So really, truly, in your 8th house, this is a place where you are making drastic life changes. This is not small scale. You're planting your seeds of intention because you're like, listen, I want this area to be the very best that it can be. I don't want income streams. I want income rivers. I don't want connection and intimacy. I want depth of connection and intimacy, right? So you're getting rid of all of these things that stand in the way from you making a really deep, delicious investment that continues to feed you and your partnerships throughout the rest of the year. So at this new moon, as it's happening here in this 8th house, make sure you do plant those seeds of intention to make new connections, to bring something fresh. Now, this particular new moon is also going to be in a square to transiting Uranus over in the energy of Taurus, okay? So first of all, I want to say when the moon squares Uranus, and the moon being your ruling planet, we can be emotionally impulsive. It's like, no, I want it now, or I need to do it right now, or you get distracted by something and you're kind of off course for a little bit. And I'm going to tell you, keep your eyes on the path, be future forward minded right now, Cancer. What is it that is the goal that you are trying to achieve? Because you are paying for your life with the currency of time. So do you have time to give up on your goal and be distracted by this thing over here? If you've got this beautiful relationship in your life, do you have time to be distracted by social media when your partner is talking to you? Do you have, where is the real investment that you want to make of something you want to have in your life? And don't let this moon square Uranus distract you from where you're trying to go. Instead, because this is like a really stimulated kind of energy, and you're like something's kicked up inside of you, a great way to use this energy is to let it show you new spaces. Let you encounter new layers and levels of yourself, of your partner. Maybe this is the first time in your life that you're going to go into some kind of deeper partnership with another resource, whether it is a bank and you're doing a loan, you're doing your will, you're doing your estate planning, you're actually going to take on an astrology course and teacher. What is it that you're going to therapy, right? And it really pulls you into this place where it's a new and it breaks the routine kind of opportunity. So plant your seeds of intention there to call in the level of change and innovation, because that's what Uranus is very good at, that you need in order to be able to progress yourself forward. Now, on the 13th, we see Mars entering into Aquarius, traveling just for a little bit with that Plutonian vibration. And as Mars and Pluto travel together, it's actually a nice energy, but it can also make things feel like they are sped up, but it also gives you a bit more influence to take action in this 8th house area. So the only thing that I will tell you is to just be mindful of accidents, of moving so fast, like you're moving faster than your guardian angel can keep up with, that kind of thing. And so just be mindful of that. But other than that, use it, take action, okay? And then on the 16th, we've got Venus moving into the vibration of Aquarius, attracting into you exactly what you're looking for. So if you're telling the universe, look, I am detoxing this area of my life. I'm getting rid of this debt. I've got this little bit of extra money over here, so I'm going to use it to pay for, invest in, something that makes your investment triple itself. Whatever you're doing with that, then Venus is going to call to you more opportunities, more people to show you how to do that. It's a really lovely energy. Now, when we get to the 18th, we see the sun entering into the vibration of Pisces, and on the 23rd, Mercury joins it in the vibration of Pisces as well. So again, something that comes to my mind pretty immediately as your 9th house now starts to get some energy is that we're looking at publishing, marketing, broadcasting, international foreign travel, legal obligations, faith. Faith will absolutely be coming up for you, I believe, Cancer, because what do you believe in? Are you surrounded by people who have a certain philosophy and they're starting to teach you about it, or you're learning a different conception of the world, something like that, whatever it is. But I think that your intuition and your heart is really guiding you through this time, but also any kind of financial decisions or relationship decisions that you're making at this time seems like you're really able to trust your heart and your intuition on it. And it's very, very, very sound. Now, as we're going to close out this month, though, we are going to have a full moon happening. And the full moon asks us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. Now, this particular full moon is going to be at 5 degrees of Virgo, so lighting up your 3rd house space. And this particular full moon is also got a conversation going over here with Jupiter. So the one thing I want to say is, yes, okay, while we're ending something, acknowledge something, making this adjustment that needs to happen. Remember, you're clearing out things in the way that you think, maybe even the people that you have communicated, maybe even the way that you are communicating is starting to change a little bit, and if you're over here getting a different philosophy, if you're starting to explore a different level of faith, or your knowledge is coming to another level, it naturally will change the way that you speak, the way you think, and the way that you communicate. And it will cause you to quit doing something that is maybe a habit or is in the way of your growth and development in this area. But the other thing that I just continue to think about is with this Jupiterian energy, how at this full moon, it can feel like you're going all the way. It's kind of, I want to give you this example, but it's like, you didn't have any faith for 30 years. And then all of a sudden you have a spiritual experience, or you're starting to come into some kind of spiritual philosophy or practice or something like that. And then you're all the way, you're the most of that religion or that philosophy that there's ever been. And we want to avoid that, because instead we want moderation in what you're learning. It needs to be what's coming into your mind, what's coming into your philosophical space, what's coming into your legal knowledge, what you're traveling to understand. But we need it in moderation so that you can nurture and nourish it into your own understanding by also applying action with it, right? So instead of coming to the table and just eating until you're stuffed, little bits, little bites at a time. The other thing that it makes me think of at this particular full moon, for you in particular, is how you are able to be a really nourishing resource for the people around you. And I think that you're able to see this in a different way. It's a very tangible way, so Cancer, if anything in you ever felt like you were kind of out to bay, you were out to sea, I guess, a little bit, and you're floating around and you're like, I'm not really sure if I'm making an impact in the lives of the world or the people around me. I think that this is a time where you really get to see how you do play that nourishing part. And that's a really beautiful experience for anybody to have, but it might also just be something that your soul has kind of been calling in to nourish you and to uplift you and to inspire you just a bit. So Cancer, I think that February has a lot to offer you. I look forward to hearing how this starts to play out for you. Well, how does this manifest for you? Where are you seeing yourself focusing on, especially at the end of the month, getting something better, letting something be the best that it can be, using your discernment to align yourself in very healthy ways in the way that you think and you communicate with others? Let me know that in the comment section down below. All right, beautiful Cancers, I love you, and I'll see you next month. Hello, my absolutely beautiful Leo friends, and welcome to your horoscope for February of 2024, where Leo, this month, the hot and spicy is just all about relationships for you. You're going to spend majority of the month just focusing on relationships. Now, the good news is, because all of the planets are direct, really you kind of have a green light from the universe. It's like, yes, be social. Yes, engage in relationships. You know, Pluto has also moved into the vibration of Aquarius, also in that relationship zone as well. So having huge rearrangements to your social group, to your social life, you taking a step up to your next title or your next kind of VIP, your own empowerment in your relationships or socially is also something that we can see beginning to happen. So one of the things I'm going to have you do is flip back in your mind, Leo, to between March and May of 2023, when Pluto got into the vibration of Aquarius. What happened for you here? What was changing for you around relationships? Really significantly changing for you, because you've got a fair amount of that going on this month as well. Now, you're going to have a lot of planets in this relationship house. Right at the very beginning of the month, on the 5th, we see that Mercury moves into Aquarius. Then we're going to have a new moon. Then Mars comes. Then Venus. The sun is over here. Pluto's over here. So it is a really action-packed 7th house area. Now, one of the things I do want to mention to you, Leo, that I think it's important to just kind of consider is that your ruling planet, we're always concerned with what is the ruling planet, what's it doing, you know, what kind of condition is it in? And your ruling planet being the sun, over in the vibration of Aquarius, until we get to Pisces season, the sun is not particularly comfortable. We consider it to be in a detrimental position in Aquarius. So it doesn't mean it has to be the end of the world, but it does give us a signature that you might not be feeling as like big cat energy, because you're really having to do the relationship thing, which means you're having to listen a lot more this month to others' input really very strongly. Now, what's great about that is that you're going to get a lot of new information, Leo. And I think that this becomes important to you, especially around about that new moon on the 9th. There's new information that is coming to you that you simply could not have come up with by yourself. And you need it, because if there's been something that has lacked clarity, if you've been like, I feel like I don't have all the pieces, there's a little bit of confusion. What do I do? Where do I go next? What is this person thinking about me? You know, for the people that are single, or even for the couples who are like, are we staying in this? Are we getting out? Are we at a new place? Whatever it is, that there's been all of these crossroads and kind of distractions, this new information that is coming to you from needing to have all of this sun in Aquarius relationship dynamic will help clarify and motivate you, I think, towards the decisions that you need to make. Now, as we do have that new moon that's going to be happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius, one of the things I want to keep in mind is that that moon is also, besides being your new moon for the month where you're planting your seeds of intention to begin something beautiful in your relationship that's next, it also, square that Uranian energy, can be a transit that you are like, you don't have any patience. You're being impatient with people, or they are being impatient with you, right? There's something you need to do, something you need to get done together as a group or in a relationship. And you're feeling like, yeah, but I just want to do it this way. Or no, I'm just doing this. We don't need to be talking about it. And the truth is, I want you to keep in mind that as unsettled or as impulsive as you might be feeling, especially emotionally, you got to do the teamwork makes the dream work thing happen this month. That is going to be the thing, especially in really close, conscious one-on-one relationships. That's going to be really, really important. Now, where I see this being really positive with this square to Uranus is, again, you could be meeting new places, be in new faces. You've got new information, new and different encounters coming your way, or something really surprising happens and you're like, I did not see that coming at all, right? But it gives you that new information and vibration that you are looking for. So, you know, be prepared. Put on your hat right here in January, if that's when you're listening, and say, okay, universe, show me, guide me, give me clarity with, even if it seems like the strangest new encounter with someone or a group of people that I've ever had. Give me clarity on how we are to travel together on this mission. And I think that can really be helpful to you. And if you are single, please get out there like a Pringle and mingle if you are looking to call somebody into your life. All right. Now, when we get to the 18th of the month, we're going to see the sun move into the vibration of Pisces. And then on the 23rd, we see Mercury move into the vibration of Pisces. So now we start this energy of lighting up your 8th house space. So this is going to be any place where you have joint resources. It's going to be where you have deeper partnerships. You share money together. There's sex, there's reproductive organs, pregnancy, intimacy, trauma, healing, death, debt, taxes, astrology, finance, any of these things that very intimately and deeply, like at a root, connect you to another resource, loans. This is when this period is going to start to kick up for you and start to have your attention. Now, one of the things I do want to say to you, Leo, is if there's been anything at a deep level that you've kind of been escaping or you haven't really been sitting with and giving yourself a chance to process through it, this would be the season to be able to do that over this next 4 weeks. You want to come into the space of looking at it, being with it, letting it come to its own natural ending, transitioning it out, allowing yourself to transition to something else. But I also, the 8th house, Pisces energy, can also just be something very sensual. It can be a very sensual energy, and I don't think that we give it a lot of credit for being that. So this can be sensual and dynamic and pleasurable and creative, and it's like you're walking in between the worlds. And I love that, and that's fine. Just make sure, again, that you're paying attention to a little bit of moderation, but Saturn is also in the 8th house, so you might not go, too crazy with that energy. Instead, with Saturn in this 8th house as well, traveling through that Piscean vibration, keep in mind that you can't just talk about it, you have to be about it. So in this 8th house area, if you're saying, I want deep intimacy, I want deep healing, I want a strong astrological practice, I want this space in my life to be clear of clutter so that I can not have the distractions in my life and instead have a clear running channel of success, of health, of wellness, of partnership, of intimacy, of finance in my life, then you got to also be willing to detox what doesn't belong there in the first place, okay? Now, as we're going to close out the month, we are going to have a full moon happening in the vibration of Virgo, and this is going to be at 5 degrees and 23 minutes, just to be exact, of Virgo. So this lights up your 2nd house space, Leo, okay? Now, the full moon is going to ask us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. So in the energy of Virgo, first of all, this is the particular sign. It's very detail oriented. So in this 2nd house of your finances and your self-worth and your value, you are being very detail oriented. You're like, okay, what is going on here with my money? Now this particular moon is also in a trine to Jupiter. So one of the thoughts that I was really having about that for you is how fast things can get over exaggerated. It can just get really big really fast because you're feeling good, you're feeling happy, you're like, yes, I understand, I've really got a lot of growth going here. It's a take it easy, go with the flow kind of energy, especially in the material plane, and that's fantastic. I want you to have intuition plus structure, which lets you know that your money, your finances, your creative talents, it is flowing beautiful. You do not have income streams, you have income rivers, right? Like you've got something in the material plane that is set up for you to be successful. But also, like I said, it can just get really big really fast. You're feeling really good. So you're like, I'm going to donate to this charity, or yes, you can absolutely have a loan for me. I trust you. You're my, you'll pay me back. And I would highly suggest that you make sure that you're going to be able to get the return on your investment, because the emotional part of this full moon, that mooning energy, is going to want to feel nurturing, and then it can feel overblown, or you can do overblown behaviors or gestures with that Jupiter energy. But as new relationships are coming in, as you are growing and developing and being empowered in your mutual respect for all of these relationships that you are considering and growing in this month, I think that it is fantastic to also practice the act of generosity, giving it and receiving it, especially as your name kind of goes up in lights a little bit more and more and more, Leo, because have no doubt that whether it is for good or for ill in your life, I think that your name is in the mouths of people around you. I hope for you that it is in a way where you are making a positive and influential impact, but whatever it is that you're doing, I think that people are definitely talking about you, because when we are around people, people talk, and that extends our reach out a little bit further. So at this full moon, I want you to just be mindful, stay in moderation, give and receive the generosity in moderation, and use this lunar phase to increase your material wealth, increase your sphere of influence if that's something that you're ready to do, have, and be in your world. Just remember, February, you got a green light, so make it happen, Leo. Okay, I love you. See you next month. Hey Virgo, welcome to February 2022, where this month your 6th house is absolutely lit up. Now you tend to be symbolized as that natural 6th house kind of energy anyways, loving to get things organized, being in the day-to-day detail of things. And this month, it's like it takes that energy up and turns it like up 15 notches. So the one thing I want to tell you right out of the gate, Virgo, is going into February, while we've got the green light to go, yes, do it, make decisions, nothing's in retrograde. You really have a good clean slate to experience energy moving forward. I want to tell you, don't go out of whack. Don't get into analysis paralysis. If you're taking on too much of the details, you're being too analytical, thinking too much about things, this can actually put you at a very big stall. Now, this is something that Virgo energy can, always be working on and be mindful of. But I just want to remind you here at the beginning of the reading to just be in moderation with what is happening, because your 6th house not only gets lit up this month, but it gets lit all the way up. We get all of these planets moving in here. Not to mention we had Pluto move into the 6th house for you just last month. So there is a lot of not tiny, it is huge life-changing energy that is shifting and you're becoming aware of in your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is about your health. It's your wellness, to include, for me, mental health and wellness. What's going on in your head? How are you thinking about things? Is there depression sitting in? How are you doing with your anxiety, your immutable energy, worrying and anxiety? These things that speed up the mind, also being ruled by Mercury, could really have you feeling some kind of way, and your head could be going. So other things that I want you to be paying attention to when we're talking about your health and wellness is, what is the daily routine that you have? Do you have a daily routine in your life that you need to make some innovations, some changes, or you need to look at where you can include more grouping and more social things in your day-to-day life? That's very much so the concept of Aquarius. But whatever it is, that Plutonian energy is creating huge change in this area, signaling to you that an old routine, an old set of day-to-day ideas is allowed to die off so that something else can live. Now, the other thing to think about is when, you've got this Virgo rising energy and this Virgo vibration, that Aquarian energy, being of air in the 6th house, can bring really strange or out of the usual health things to your attention. And what I really mean is you're going along living your best life, and then you find out that you have some disease, you have some condition that presents itself. It doesn't mean that it always stays, but it is something pretty serious for you to tackle, and it can feel like it comes on out of nowhere. So if that is something that comes up for you this month, I also want you to know that the rest of these planets moving into the 6th house also help to bring clarity. So right here at the beginning of the month, we have Mercury move into Aquarius. So again, the 6th house now is going to start to get a bit more clarity, because Mercury, when it's not retrograde, is always bringing new information. And so with new information, you can make new decisions. It kind of puts like a magnifying glass on what you were looking at, and you go, oh, okay, here's what I need to do differently, or here's the new direction I need to go. Then we end up having the new moon happening on the 9th, and this is going to be at 20 degrees of Aquarius, squaring Uranus in fellow Earth sign of Taurus, okay? So first of all, this new moon, you want to plant your seeds of intention, because what do you want to bring to this area of your life? Do you need to bring new productivity to your life? If you are a freelancer or you own your own company or something like that, this is a highly productive new moon, right? And this is one of the things I was thinking about. If this is a work thing for you, it's not so much the health of the day-to-day routine, but it's a work thing for you. First of all, this new moon might have you feeling a little bit impatient. You're like, no, I need to make these changes now. I need to do it. I need to go, right? And I think that that is okay for you to kind of try something new, have this innovation. What you don't want to do is damage the relationships that are close to you, but instead use this energy to put out that resume, pitch your contracts, pitch your proposals to people, maybe even pitch in a different direction, offer your services where you've never thought to offer them before, including online, right? Make sure your SEO on the back end makes sense. Whatever it is, use it to create a newness that really is like it has no chill. Have no chill where you're going to look to expand. Just don't burn down people around you, because the moon can make you very emotional and you're like afraid or you're instinctive and you're doing something and the other person catches it. Instead of building a new bridge, it burns it down, okay? Now, also, like I said, more clarity comes to the table because after that new moon, we see Mars come into Aquarius and then we see Venus come into Aquarius. So we've got Pluto, the Sun, Mercury, Mars, Venus, all the personal planets are loaded here in this sixth house for you. So clarity should be coming to you about if you need to have a resolution to a health situation. If you've been unemployed and you're like, I put out all these, resumes and I haven't heard anything back or anything like this, resolution can be coming your way before the end of the month. Now, when we do get to the 18th, we are going to see that the sun moves into Pisces. So this is going to light up your seventh house space. It's right across the street. So now the relationship season of your year begins, okay? And so on the 23rd, we're also going to see that Mercury makes its way into Pisces as well. So again, this is a place where we've got more conversation. Anything you might have been putting out at the beginning of even this year, even at your birthday time, think back to your birthday season. What were you doing? What were you calling in? What were you putting out there? Because some of the hopes and the dreams that you have for yourself, you have to have other people help you make those things come true, right? Like, so that's going to be really, really important. Now, something else that I just wanted to bring a little bit of attention to in the general horoscope. So just general reading. I'm not talking about your own personal chart, but in the general reading, Venus being your financial and relationship planet, right, is also going to be putting a lot of emphasis about what's happening with, of, and around children. This is still bringing a little bit of a whisper to like what's happening over there, the home, the children, things like that. So for somebody out there, this could literally be your kids are getting ready to start a new school, or you're bringing in someone to care for them, or there's a change in the way that your children have been cared for in a day-to-day way. So I just want to bring that to your attention as well, okay? Now, as we're going to close out this month, we are going to see that we've got this full moon happening at 5 degrees of Virgo. So 5 degrees of your sign, beautiful Virgo friends. So the full moon is going to ask us to end something, to acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. And so here we're talking about working in your first house space. So it's in your space, your energy, your you, your image, how you present yourself, your physical body even may be taking a change, your relationships. You may be going, I don't feel like I have any connection to this relationship anymore. I'm ready to, let this particular thing go. So you have this kind of vibration that is happening there. But whatever is happening, it's not new. You've likely seen this energy playing out for some times, and you could have just been on the fence with what kind of change that you wanted to make to it. The only thing that I think is really important that I want to lean into with this particular moon is that I think with the changes and what's coming to an ending, what's coming to culmination for you is something that you are ready to let end. You're feeling actually pretty good about it. Now, because this moon is in a trine also to
to Jupiter, I just want you to be mindful. That's it. I just want you to be mindful to not take it too far. Still let your endings come, but let them come in moderation. You don't need to be like the absolute new and next version of yourself, here at this particular full moon. You still have some time, because really what I think you're aligning with, Virgo, is this energy of how can I be of the best service in my life? How can I be of best service in my relationships? But also, how do I need to be of best service to me first? Now, something that you can think about and go back to is because moons happen in lunar families, okay? And I talk about this in the weekly videos. But if you go back to August 27th of 2022, we had a new moon at 4 degrees of Virgo. So 2.5 years ago, you were planting your seeds of intention to begin a new story for yourself, but you've needed until now to just wait and see what is going to unfold for you. Now, when we got to May 27th of 2023, so grab your journal, what was going on? Because we had a first quarter moon at 6 degrees of Virgo. So this is a time where you were either taking action or you had that readiness to take action. And it was like, go, 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 go. Maybe people, places, and things were falling out and you needed to take a lot of action, okay? So now here we are in February at the full moon at 5 degrees of Virgo. So stop and look around. What is being illuminated to you, about your relationships? And if you need to take a pivot or you need to respond in a different way, pivot and then commit into the direction you want to take yourself or that the universe is pointing you. Now, we'll bring this all to a close so you can watch this whole 2.5 year lunar family cycle work itself out when we get to November 23rd of 2024, because we're going to have the last quarter moon that's going to happen at 1 degree of Virgo, okay? And this is where you're going to be bringing whatever you were calling in August 27th of 2022 to a close. There's completion, there's closure, and it's time to, turn away from that particular vision you had and let it settle in this sense of completion, so whether that's you are paying for something, you're being paid, whether that's financial or energetic, it's okay to bring it to a close at that particular time. So you have to let me know, go back to that August timeframe of 2022 and let me know, what were you cooking up? What were you putting in place for yourself? What were you praying about, manifesting, calling in for yourself, your family, your relationships? Let me know what it was, because I'm excited to walk with you as you watch your own pattern of energy and manifestation unfold with a little bit of cosmic support. All right, beautiful Virgos, have a gorgeous month. I love you a ton, and I'll see you next month. Hello, my absolutely beautiful Libra friends, and welcome to February 2024, where Libra, the headline this month is that your 5th house gets absolutely lit up. And so this is a place of fun and pleasure and creativity, and where you genuinely have a desire for love. You're willing to take a risk, and the 5th house is also the space of children. So whether it is your creativity going on like a high this month or being really available, can just be a very creative month. And when I say creative, I want you to think very widely about this. I'm not just saying arts and crafts and painting, but you may find yourself coming up with a lot of creative solutions or feeling like you have a bit more permission to play, because the planets are all in direct motion this month. So you really have a green light, Libra, from the universe to go, to do it, to try it out. So you may find yourself being very, very creative. And with all of these planets just action-packed into your 5th house, this is an energy that is like, whoa, really take advantage of that. Now, we're going to start off in the beginning of the month on the 5th, where we see that we've got Mercury moving into the vibration of Aquarius. So, of course, beginning this conversation, lighting up this 5th house space, the Sun and Pluto are already here as well. So what we know about your 5th house from being creative, being willing to take a risk, maybe a new love that's coming into your life, or a conception of something. You had something that was a hobby and now you want to begin it into a career or something like that. You're willing to take that risk, down to, are you having children? Are you getting pregnant? Are you adopting? What is the childlike energy that's also available here? But what we know is that with Sun and Pluto traveling here, huge rearrangements to your life in this area and around these topics are absolutely coming to pass. So for some of you, you may be having the symptoms that really begin again this month of, maybe morning sickness, or maybe it's what I like to call call a creative syndrome that just comes over you, and you really are blasting out some really beautifully creative ideas. Now, when we get to the 9th of the month, we've got a new moon that's going to be happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius. And this particular new moon is wonderful because, first of all, you're planting your seeds of intention to begin something new. But this moon is also going to be squaring its ruling planet in the vibration of Taurus. Okay, so I think that that brings a little bit of extra impact to what it is that you're feeling called to do. So not only do you want to have this fresh start, you want to plant your seeds of intention to move something forward and move a little bit differently, but you could be feeling with this square to Uranus, which is excitement and electricity. You're like, no, I want to do it now. Like I want to cut, and and it can just seem, instead of innovating, it can seem like you are just wanting to make a whole break with what whatever your routine has been. Now, this can be really great. This can be a time to, I agree, have no chill, make big changes, like go for it. But also be mindful if you're making changes because it's time to break from that old routine, or if you're in a bit of a mood swing and this is an impulsive decision, or you're just making changes to distract you from other more specific changes that actually need to be happening. Now, whatever I think about the moon as well, I do think about that family structure, and it could honestly be someone in your family kind of creeping up and they're having a little bit of an emotional outburst, but this helps you see what needs to be changed in this area, or the creative solution that you need to apply. Now, you'll have plenty of energy to be able to do that because on the 13th, we see Mars enter into Aquarius, and on the 16th, we will welcome Venus into the vibration of Aquarius as well. Venus being that ruling planet, this is a wonderful energy as it gets into Aquarius, because for you, with Venus being your ruler in this Aquarian vibration, you're a little bit more open to, okay, well, where can I detach from something a little bit and look at it from a more innovative perspective? It's really kind of nice because you're willing to also attract in people into your life that maybe you would not have necessarily spent so much time with, or they wouldn't be your, in quotes, normal group of people that you would be getting information or advice from. So this can be a really wonderful set of connections that is drawn into your life with that Venus vibration. And if you can keep in mind that sometimes we have to have that breakdown before we have a breakthrough, right? This can be more of an awakening instead of like a rude, entirely disruptive interruption into your life. So it just depends on how you embrace that. Okay, when we get to the 18th, now we see the sun moving into the vibration of Pisces, and the 23rd, we'll see Mercury now leaving that Aquarian vibration into Pisces as well. So the 6th house gets lit for you. Daily routines, health, your wellness. When I say health and wellness, I also want you to keep in mind, Libra, that I'm also talking about your mental health and wellness. What's running through your head on a day-to-day basis? How are you talking to yourself? Are you struggling with depression, anxiety, anything going on in that mental wellness is just as much important as what you're doing when you go to the gym or the doctor's appointments that you're going to. So I want you to keep that in mind. But I actually think that the health energy looks very good and really vital this month. So as long as you are paying attention, the 6th house can be seen as pretty much, on par. And if there are unhealthy or unsavory things that are a part of your health practice or are an unsavory piece of your daily routine that keeps you motivated to have the best and most balanced life that you can, the Pisces energy may actually help you see where spiritually something is misaligned. Energetically, you can see, you can feel, you can sense what's off intuitively in your day and be able to make some changes. Now, to the other side, it is Pisces energy. So we do need to be mindful that, it can also be the space of your own undoing. If there are things in your daily routine that you're taking actions to avoid, or you're trying to escape, or, you can really turn into this place where like everything's wrong and you can be very paranoid about your health. So you just want to be mindful, do you have something helping you ground down and be clear about the energy of the day in your daily practice and in your health that's helping you. Now, also in the 6th house, we see freelance people. So if you are a freelancer, or if you wanted to change your job or your career, or you're unemployed, this can also be a good energy to launch your projects out there, or to, I like to call it, change the path of how you've been interacting in your daily routine. So if you've just been, sending out resumes, or you've just been sending out offers, look at your path. Have a review of the day-to-day, moment-to-moment, fine detail path of what you're putting out there, because maybe you've been sending them to these people or these companies and you think this will be what's right for me, or you've been seeing this doctor, and intuitively you can go into this Pisces vibration and say, show me the vibration, show me that thin line that will connect me to where I need to go, to where I'm not right now. So you can actually use that to your favor. Now, as we are going to close out this month on the 24th, we have got a full moon that is going to be happening in the vibration of Virgo. Okay, this full moon is going to ask us to end something, to acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. In the vibration of Virgo, it's always about getting into the details, having things get organized, but we do that with discernment, right? And discernment is not about judgment. I don't think that this is better or worse. This just works for what I'm trying to do, or it doesn't work for what I'm trying to do. And that's the difference between the discernment here, because Virgo energy wants to be efficient, effective, and productive, okay? And for you to do those things, there has to be some kind of focus on the details and the steps that make things happen. Now, this particular moon is actually in a trine to Jupiter. So first of all, I do think that it's a little bit more of a feel-good moon, but it can be a bit of a feels too good kind of moon. That's the only thing I want to caution you against, is because there are good feelings. There is growth. There are these expansions that are available here. But what you want to make sure that you do is take it in moderation, because you're not doing everything right. You're not doing everything wrong. Now, because this is lighting up your 12th house space, where I think you have the optimal energy to look at is, first of all, in a spiritual practice in your life, do you have one? Where is it? What are the details that make up your spiritual practice, right? Because if you have a belief in something, that's great, but what are you doing to connect with that thing that you believe in a day-to-day way? Or are you just kind of glossing over it, being like, well, I believe in this, so it better work out, right? There has to be something a little bit deeper and in the details of those things. Now, the other things are looking at things that you have that can lead to your own undoing, Libra, right? Like, what are you treating your immune system? Are you treating your spirituality? Are you treating, if you have any addictions, if you have any past behavioral patterns, are those rising to the surface, right? And you can do it here in a way that I think feels generous, that feels kind, and maybe even you're connecting here with people who are like, yeah, I've done that too. I can help you get organized. I can help you get sorted. And for all of my people who are working on things behind the scenes, are super behind the scenes ninjas, or if you're working on a project behind the scene, you're researching something like that, this is a great energy, because Virgo will help you get organized. Just remember to take it all in moderation, okay? All right, my beautiful Libras, I hope you have a gorgeous month. Let me know how it goes in the comment section down below. Hello, my beautiful Scorpio friends, and welcome to February 2024, where Scorpio this month, the domestic life, your 4th house, home, family, real estate, property, and lots of changes that are going to be presenting themselves in pretty drastic ways are presenting themselves as we're here in February. But the one thing I want to tell you right out of the gate is that you have lots and lots of green lights here in February to take action, to make decisions, to ride the wave of what's coming and survive it successfully. So I want you to know that right at the beginning of this reading, that while it's a very dynamic month, you have a lot of, okay, let's move it forward though, energy. Now, the interesting part is that, yes, it's the 4th house. So what's changing in the family structure, what's changing where you're living, these are all things that are absolutely up for grabs and ups for change. And you're going to have a lot of planets that are living and moving in this 4th house space. One of the most important that I want us to consider is that, first of all, Pluto, your ruling planet, has moved back into the vibration of Aquarius. So huge changes around your home, family, real estate, property life, your domestic life are definitely on the agenda. They're the ones that are going to shape your life for the next 20 years. But we've also got very quickly, as we get into the middle of the month, your ruling planet Mars coming into Aquarius as well. So this is a lot of changing and taking action to change, or needing to create strategy to change your home life kind of energy. So I want you to know that we've got powerful energy that is moving here at this particular time. Okay, so right as we're coming into the month on the 5th, we've got Mercury coming into the vibration of Aquarius. And when Mercury is not in retrograde, it brings new information. That's a function of Mercury. So whatever's going on in this 4th house, Mercury is bringing you new information. Now, could it be somebody in your household saying, I want to do this, I want to change directions, we should buy a house? Mercury loves commerce, right? And buying and selling. So there could just be new information that is brought to your table around what is considered home. And it doesn't make it good or bad. It just means there's new information coming to the table. Now, when we get to the 9th, we've got a new moon that's going to be happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius. And this is going to be your opportunity to plant your seeds of intention to begin something new in this particular area of your chart. So it gives this even greater, I think, emphasis that something important is really changing in this home zone, or maybe even with your parents, especially now and over this next month for you, for sure. Now, this particular moon is also going to be squaring Uranus. So Uranus here, because you've got a new moon that is squaring one of its rulers, we have this symptom in the story that is like, yes, you may want to just like cut all ties, cut loose, go the other direction, be like, let's make the changes, let's do it now. Or someone brings something to your table that's really surprising and you're like, whoa, it can literally shock you, right? And so you want to react in an impulsive way. You want to react reactively, right? So instead, what I can say to you is that, yes, maybe you just need to do things in a different way, an innovative way, a way that has a different sense of value than maybe you would have applied to something before. And it gives you an opportunity to have this kind of breakdown, breakthrough moment. And as long as you are using it to innovate based on the new information that is brought to you, I think you can actually do something really good in your home zone with this. Now, if it's just all shock and awe and emotional value and it's just reactive, which the moon can be impulsive and reactive, especially when it hinges against Uranus, this can also be a chance where a lot of damage is done. But I have seen time and time again that when the moon squares Uranus, something has got to change direction, and it's been on the fence for too long. And so usually that connection with Uranus helps get it off the fence and get it going and moving forward. So that's absolutely good news. Now, when we get to the 13th, Mars will move into Aquarius. And as we get down here, just a couple days down the road to the 16th, we'll see Venus also move into Aquarius as well. So now the 4th house is just locked and loaded. Venus, Mars, Mercury. We've had a lunation in here. Pluto's in here. The sun is still in here for the next couple days. So trust me, the 4th house, your home, your family, your real estate, your property, your parents, your roots, they need your attention. Now, as we get to the 18th, we get to move on with that energy a bit, and we see the sun get into Pisces. So this begins to light up your 5th house space. This is the house of joy and pleasure and taking a risk and children. You know, if you've had all of this going on in your 4th house, it wouldn't shock me that your children, if you have them, or children in your life become a primary energy, or maybe something's changed in your home zone and you're dating someone now, or someone comes into your life, right? Whatever it is, the 5th house becomes this place now of pleasure and play and starts to get your attention a little bit. Now, as we get to the 23rd, we're also going to see Mercury now come into Pisces, into this 5th house as well. So again, Mercury is bringing you new information here. And sometimes the new information that Mercury just brings as it travels is a different perspective. So if you spent most of the month dealing with things that are going on in your 5th house and you're like, I need to take a risk, sometimes the biggest risk that we take is just to see something from a different perspective. But this is also in the 5th house energy a great place for your creative endeavors to begin to have possibility and have a sense that they can make their own start. So I'd be really interested to see what happens for you, where you find yourself feeling more inspired or motivated, or maybe even your children feel more inspired or more motivated as we're traveling for the rest of this month. Now, before we close out the month, we're going to have a full moon at 5 degrees of Virgo, and this will light up your 11th house space. So really bringing a lot of attention for you, Scorpio, to the friendships, social groupings or organizations that you are attached to, right? So this is going to start to be the place where you're going to need to end something, acknowledge something, or just make an adjustment or a course correction. Now, this particular full moon in Virgo is about getting organized. Virgo wants to use its discernment to say, I'm not judging these people or these situations, right? It's not this is good, this is bad, this is better, these people are worse. It's simply about discernment. This is going to be effective to help me be productive in this way, or it is not. So this full moon with Virgo's help is going to help you see where you need to let something go. You need to let someone go. You need to let some kind of attachment to a social situation go because it's not actually helping you move forward anymore. Or maybe one of your family members presents you with something where now you're all going to let go of something that's not helping you move forward anymore. This particular moon is in trine to Jupiter, so the one thing I want to just hand you to be mindful of is, first of all, enjoy it. Enjoy the lunation. It is not all suffer and grow, okay? Enjoy it. Be inspired. Feel a sense of ease that comes with this. But whatever you're going to take on and you want to change in this 11th house space, please keep in mind that you want to do it in moderation. Everybody's not all good. Everybody's not all bad. It's not all the best idea. It's not all the worst idea, right? So have some moderation here, because with this trine to Jupiter, it's an open invitation for things to get very big. You take on too much very fast. And instead, this can be a wonderful chance to have a sense of emotional ease and comfort and generosity between you and the groups that you find are best for you to be connecting with. And that includes your friendships, your social medias, and all things of that sort. All right, my beautiful Scorpios, I hope you have a gorgeous month. Please let me know how it rolls out for you in the comment section down below. Hello, my absolutely beautiful Sagittarian friends, and welcome to February of 2024, where Sagittarius, the highlight this month is that your third house is absolutely lit up. So this immediately gives us the indicator that this is a great month for learning something, for speaking, for sharing, for communicating. All of the planets are out of retrograde, so you've got a green light to go, to do things, to move them forward. So you are really in a fantastic communication space, okay? Because this lights up the third house. And the third house is about communications. It's about teaching. It's about writing. If you've been trying to write that book, if you've been trying to work on that website, if you've been wanting to take a class and learn something, if you wanted to go to, Toastmasters or some kind of networking group, something like this, if you wanted to market, these are great things that are in your favor, not to mention short distance trips and connections with siblings. So there could be a lot of communication that is going down this month. And the third house being lit up by all of these planets being here, to include Pluto, tells us that there are huge changes, huge rearrangements that will impact the next 20 years of your life that are really in effect, that we can see how they're working out this month. So right at the beginning of the month, Sagittarius, on the 5th, we have got Mercury moving into your third house space. Now, when Mercury is not retrograde, Sagittarius, it brings new information. And sometimes that new information is new information, but sometimes the new information is just new perspective on something you've already been looking at. So I'm telling you, you're coming out of this season where your second house has been really strong with all of that energy traveling through Capricorn, and maybe you had ideas or you started to see what you wanted to create in your money or something like that, but you couldn't quite, you didn't quite have it, And now as the idea sector gets lit up, you've got this, oh, okay, I see how I can do it, and it will make huge changes. But Mercury brings that new information, new perspective in so that you can communicate it and use that. Now, as we get to the new moon that's going to happen on February 9th at 20 degrees of Aquarius, you're going to plant your seeds of intention, first of all, to be beginning something here in this third house space. What is it? Do you want to buy something? Do you want to sell something? Do you want to study? You want to teach or demonstrate some kind of intellectual skill? Do you need to work things out, sort things out with siblings? Or I call them sibling-like people, because sometimes you have that one really close, like neighbor or cousin who's not actually a sibling, but you know what I mean? It's my play cousin, like that. And sometimes I think that they fall into this house as well. So whatever that is at this new moon, you have this opportunity to be beginning something here, but there is a bit of a lack of clarity here because it is the new moon. So you're planting your seeds of intention, but you're not exactly sure how this is going to come out, especially because this particular new moon is also in a square to Uranus that's in Taurus. Okay, now this square, first of all, gives us the indicator that you need to take action on something. Something will need to be done. But with Uranus over there, it's like, what needs to be done? And if you are reacting, which the moon can be reactive from an emotional place, or let's say, you expected someone to do something, you expected something to go a certain way, and now you're upset about it and you're just having this reaction to it, right? And it's impulsive, or your reflex is just called to the table. This could actually do a little bit of damage, or it's going to prove to be quite a frustrating moon. And I don't think that frustration is the worst thing in the world. You might have to get frustrated enough with what is going on or what is happening in your space for you to actually be willing to use the square to do something else. Now, for others, it is a time where it's like, yeah, make the change. Have the courage to make the change, whatever you need to innovate here, because we've got a new moon, a chance for a new opportunity, squaring its ruler. That, I think, is a serious cosmic conversation, because it is like, I am looking at you and I am willing to do it different. I am willing to have an innovation here. So if you can do that, I think that you have an opportunity to really create something, or be at the beginning of creating something that, again, will create some really nice changes over certainly this next month of your life, but even over the next several years. Okay. Now, as we continue on the 13th, we see Mars get into Aquarius. On the 16th, we'll welcome Venus into Aquarius. So as everybody's traveling over here, we've got Venus, we've got Mars, we've got the sun, we've had a lunation, now we've got Pluto, we've got Mercury. Everything is loaded into this third house. So really use your communication skills to the very best of your ability. If you wanted to do a presentation, if you needed to do coaching sessions, you wanted to hire a coach or something like that, this will be to your benefit, okay? On the 18th, we see the sun now move into the vibration of Pisces, lighting up that fourth house space. And on the 23rd, we see Mercury coming into the vibration of Pisces, bringing new information about home. So home, family, real estate, property, your parents, your mother, your roots, all of these things. There starts to be a different conversation that is now going to be on the table for you to review. So first and foremost, one of the things I want to share with you about this is I really do want you to be paying attention to your health this month, Sagittarius, your immune system, also paying attention to the parts of the body that are Piscean. So talking about your ankles and your feet, and where do you feel like you need to set boundaries, or you realize in your life, I have a different vision for my future than maybe my family had for me. And so there's this place where you're having to maybe hold your own boundaries depending on, where you are. But also in that immune system, looking at where the boundaries of your immune system are compromised or are quite healthy. Either way, it will be called to your attention. Now, I also think that because we're talking about Piscean energy here, that there can feel this sense of strength and communion and a connection to your lineage from your home in some way, or you're feeling called back to some piece of your lineage in your home. And maybe this has all come out of a lot of conversation or connection that's been happening for you, and you're feeling called back home. And then you meet new people, new places bring us new faces, bring us new places. And this is kind of this transition that gets to happen. As we're going to close out the month, Sagittarius, on the 24th, we've got a full moon happening at 5 degrees of Virgo. And this is going to light up your 10th house space. So the full moon is going to ask us to end something, acknowledge something, be acknowledged sometimes, or even make an adjustment. And in the 10th house space, it's very public. So we can see you. This is a career, soul level calling title that we call you in public kind of lunation. So something about your name in public is being adjusted, and we're starting to know you differently. And under Virgo energy, one of the things I think you can look at with this is that it's about getting organized. It's about being efficient, effective, and productive. So, are you going to be the most productive little Sagittarius in the class? And that's how we know you in your name now? Maybe that's what it is. But there could also just be something that you are doing to be organized and to be put together or to be efficient. Maybe you're being a bit more discerning about what's going on in your career, right? Like not judgment, not I'm better than this person, I'm less than that person, but discerning of, I need to align myself with these people or with this training because it will be most efficient and effective to help me achieve this in my career or to help me get where I'm going next, right? Like a high level of discernment. And maybe even people around you are recognizing you for that. There's an acknowledgement to Sagittarius's name being in the mouths of people around them. So I'm having this little small blip moment. You let me know if this is you, Sagittarius. If you've been wanting to travel or you have applied to a travel program to be a travel influencer, to study abroad, to go abroad, or to travel in some way, but it's like you hadn't quite heard back yet, I think that in this next end of the month, moving into March, can be the time where you get a lot more information, because that would definitely get Sagittarius's name up and out in public, would it not? All right, beautiful Sagittarian friends, let me know how it goes for you in the comment section down below. Have a gorgeous month, and I look forward to seeing you in March. Hello, my beautiful Capricorn friends, and welcome to February of 2024, where Capricorn, the highlight this month is, first of all, that all of the planets are in forward motion. So it means it's actually a really great month for you. You have a lot of cosmic support energy-wise and momentum to move something forward or to move things forward. There's just a lot of good cosmic zhuzh going with that. But also that your second house is really strong here as we're traveling through February. Now, in the first few days of February, we still got a fair amount of energy that's been traveling through your sign, including Venus, and that's made you really attractive or has attracted things to you, but also made you attractive to the outside world. So building off of that energy and moving into February, where now we see that the second house gets really pronounced in the Aquarian vibration, you want to use that to your absolute advantage. Okay. So here in the second house, we're talking money, how you earn money, what creative skills and talents you use to make money, your self-worth. So really, if you are, not attracting the finances and the abundance to your life that you want, really looking at your money mindset. What does that look like? And realizing that you're not going to fix your own money mindset by yourself. You can't fix a mind that has a mindset with the mind that created it. So having new input come to you, grab one of the money mindset books, follow the budgeting or money mindset or diversification of the portfolio or, self-worth channels on the internet or something like that can actually help you get some new intel. Now, to help you have that new intel right at the beginning of the month on the 5th, we see that Mercury is going to move into this vibration of Aquarius. So Mercury, when it's not retrograde, Capricorn, is bringing new information. So this is why I also suggest to you, like, if your money, if your self-worth, if your value, if the monetization of your creative skills and talents and how you value them is not where you would like it to be, you have an opportunity with Mercury here to invite in a new perspective, new teachers, new information to help you see how to make decisions. Now, for the rest of you, if you're in an okay financial place, what Mercury can also do here is show you opportunities to change your finances, right? Maybe to make money if that's something that you're looking to do. Mercury is literally going to be like, here, go to this place. I think that's one of the really brilliant uses of this energy. Now, also, Pluto is traveling in Aquarius at this time as well. So we know that the changes that are happening to your financial life are going to be huge this year. They're huge, and they are going to impact you for the next 20 years. So I also think that there is an element of paying attention to the way that you invest in this second house area, but bringing your attention to how you're going to start doing that this month. Now, looking at that start, we've got a new moon that's going to be happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius on the 9th. So this is fantastic. planting those seeds of intention to beginning something new in this money house. It can be an excellent financial day, I believe, but this particular moon is also squaring its ruler Uranus in Taurus. So the square gives us the information that something has to be done. You will need to take some kind of action, right? So again, if an opportunity presents itself, you may be like, yep, this is it. Finally, I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm taking the action. Let's go. Jump, 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 right? Like, yes, do it. Okay. Have courage. But also something else I just want you to be mindful of and pay attention to is that the decisions that you may make this month could end up impacting you for at least the next month. 20 years in the making is what we're talking about. So if somebody's got one of these get rich quick schemes, or you don't fully understand what it is that you're about to invest in, I would caution you. I would say take a little bit of caution here, ask more questions, whatever. Just don't make this impulsive yes decision. And for goodness sakes, do not let media play on your emotions or your psychology to get you to invest your money someplace that you don't really understand what the payback is going to be once you have that investment, okay? Just after that, on the 13th, we see Mars coming into Aquarius. On the 16th, we'll welcome Venus into Aquarius. So really the second house in Aquarius has so much power for you this month. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility, okay? When we get to the 18th, we see the sun move into the vibration of Pisces. And on the 23rd, we will welcome Mercury into Pisces. So now we switch and we've got this intellectual third house energy that becomes available. In the third house, we're doing communication, teaching, learning, working on that website, writing that book, studying something new. So this is a great energy for bringing in any of that kind of study or communication about what you're doing. And maybe you invested and you've signed up for a class, you signed up for a coach, you've signed up for a website, and you're going to be, as we're rolling from the end of February into March, you're going to start teaching now. Right? This can be a great way to look at how you can express that. Now, the other thing is really, truly, it's Piscean energy. So you can be in the weeds. You think that this has been a great investment, but if you don't feel solid and clear about the details of something, again, I would be cautioning you to question, ask lots of questions so that you can get clarity, okay? Now, as we're going to close out this month on the 24th, we've got a full moon happening at 5 degrees of Virgo. Now, Virgo being a fellow earth sign, first of all, this is a fairly comfortable moon because it's got some really nice trine quality for you. You get it. You understand how to get things done. But Virgo here is lighting up your 9th house space. So publishing, marketing, broadcasting, philosophies, faith, new theologies, new ideologies and philosophies to guide your life, international travel, legal things, business, these kinds of things come to the table. And the full moon is asking you to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment in some way. Okay? So you're needing to look at, do you need to take this training? Are you having an advancement in education? But whatever's happening, what Virgo's doing here is to help you get it all organized. It's like, okay, we need to be as efficient and effective as is possible. So Virgo comes and drops discernment. It's like, this is the priority. This is what needs to go first. So let's do a cleaning out and really get organized. Now, this particular moon is also in trine to Jupiter, who is in Taurus. So we've got a grand earth trine happening here. You guys are all living your best life in the material plane. You've got a lot of opportunity, Capricorn, in the material plane to be inspired and generous and motivated and feel connected with the changes that you're making at this full moon. But also, don't take on too much. Jupiter can get really big, really fast, and then before you know it, you've changed the whole thing, and then you don't know where to start again. Or, it just can get really big, really fast. And instead, allow yourself to be kind, to be loving, to be generous, to be inspired, to let new relationships in your life, inspire you under genuine connection. This is a great use for that, because what's going to happen as you expand, you will really have people, places, and resources in your life that, first of all, help you to be successful, are the right kind of partnerships and the best fit for you, but also may have a bit of power and influence to help take you to your next level, whatever that is for you, Capricorn. All right, beautiful Capricorn friends, let me know how this is playing out for you in the comment section down below. Have a beautiful month, and I will see you in March. Hello, my beautiful Aquarian friends, and welcome to February of 2022, and happy birthday to you. What a beautiful, powerful energy that you find yourself in as you're here at your next soul arrangement, especially with Pluto in your sign. It's back, but it's happening at birthday time this year. And I think that that is a signature of a lot of power that you're carrying this month in terms of change and how you are changing and what those changes are bringing to the surface for you, Aquarius. Now, I just want to remind you here of two things in the beginning of the reading. First of all, with great power comes great responsibility. So how you move and where you impact is important for you to consider. It's not about, just making everybody feel comfortable. We do have that North Node in Aries, so you might be a little bit more be about it than maybe you've ever been in your whole entire life, which is cool. But we also can't forget that we cannot just step on people. So keep this in mind. With great power comes great responsibility, but yet the responsibility also to change. Now, the other thing that I want to keep in mind is that all of the planets are moving forward this month, Aquarius. So for your birthday, we got you a no retrograde time. How about that? So that means that the things that need to be done, the growth that needs to happen, the decisions that need to be made, you can do them, move them forward. You are cosmically supported to do so. Now, the hot ticket item is obviously it's birthday time. So the real power lies this month in your first house. So in you, in your transformation, your metamorphosis that is happening. Whether that be that you are physically changing how you look on the outside, your mindset is absolutely changing. You have this emergence of questions about what really makes you happy. How do you really want to move and thrive for the rest of your days? The decisions that you're making this month, they're going to have impact for you for far beyond 30 days. We're looking at changes that are going to become apparent to you, especially around your own happiness and connection with people that you're in relationship with for the next 20 years. So it's a pretty big month, okay? Right at the beginning of the month, on the 5th, we've got Mercury coming into your sign, so into your first house. Now, when Mercury is not in retrograde, Mercury brings new information. And sometimes it's just new information, like physically, you get a form in the mail and it's like, fill this out. Or sometimes it's new perspective that is the new information and gives you what you need to start making decisions. Mercury is also going to bring a fair amount of conversation and communication. So in your first house, you could be saying, okay, this is what I'm doing next. These are the plans I'm making for myself. These are the plans I'm going to lead us to, in my life, right? These are the relationships I want in my life. So this is a pretty powerful movement when we think about the fact that Mercury also as a personal planet in your first house gives us the signature that you will be taking your new identity on the road in terms of how you connect with relationships in your life. Now, on the 9th, we're going to have a new moon happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius. So happy birthday. It's your birthday moon. But this moon is also in square to one of your rulers, Uranus. So when we have a moon, first of all, the internal conditions of who you are, how you are, the first house, how you're feeling about yourself. It's a new moon. So you're wanting to plant seeds of intention to begin something new. Begin your next start to the year. Begin this new, happy, healthy identity that you want for yourself that's really very pleasing to you, okay? But squaring your ruling planet is saying, something is standing here and you're going to need to take action in order to get to the other side of it. So with the moon, the first thing that I think of is, do you have an old and outdated belief, an emotional belief, maybe even some early on emotional conditioning that may be standing in the way of you being like, I'm allowed to step out. I'm allowed to come out here and be seen and to do this and to move this way. Do you have family members that are maybe standing in the way? Do you feel like you have current home or, relationship conditions that are standing in the way? And if so, at this particular moon, if it feels like any one of those things is putting pressure on you, that square can feel really amplified. And what can happen is impulsively, emotionally, you just have this big outburst and reaction to what's happening. And then you're just like, you're throwing the papers in the air and you're like, F it, I don't need this job anyways, which you do need that job probably, okay? But also, so we don't want that if that can be avoided. Sometimes sometimes we have to have a breakdown so that we get a very clear breakthrough. But if that's not what the universe has in mind, and that's just a reaction that comes from you, you want to be mindful that this moon can trigger that. Instead, what this can be is where you're just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just really willing to do something differently. I'm really willing to engage in this relationship that is different and make the changes that need to be made so that I and this can be the best that it can be. And it's a really empowering energy, because I'm telling you, back up into your life, Aquarius, into March, between March and May of 2023, as Pluto came into your sign the first time. What happened for you? For some people, they physically discovered that there was sickness in their bodies, right? It was a real first house experience, like, whoa, something is literally stopping my energy from shining forward. So if that's you, then maybe where you're feeling really empowered and you're like, no, I'm doing something about it, is in your health at this particular time. But whatever it is a dramatic change, not a soft change, not a minor change, a dramatic change to how you relate to yourself, the world, and the things that you're in relation with. Now, to help you get things done, and I think bring a lot more clarity, you've got that Mercury there. Mars comes into Aquarius on the 13th. Then we get a couple days down the road on the 16th, and Venus comes in. So literally the changes that you're making, you're attracting them to you. It's like, okay, I say I want better health. You say I want to put myself out in the world more. Venus starts calling in and attracting these energies and opportunities to you. Plus, Venus makes you very magnetic. It's like, once a year you just get to be hot, too hot to handle. So take it, Aquarius. But then also Mars is helping you get things done. When we get to the 18th of the month, we see the sun move into the vibration of Pisces. Now this starts lighting up your second house space, your ability to make money moves, make decisions. If you are valuing yourself, you are empowering yourself differently, then you may find yourself that you are attracting money to you. Mercury on the 23rd will also move into the Pisces space as well. So this is also going to, bring more information, more opportunity, more conversation and discussion around your finances. So if it's that you have these money move opportunities that become available, if you say, nope, I don't want to live with you anymore, I'm moving someplace else, and now you need to make decisions to live someplace else. If you say, you know what? I've done my learning, I've done my studying, we want to invest, we want to have a different kind of portfolio, we need to do a budget, we need to manage the trust, the estate, whatever it is around these financial and value decisions, I think you feel very strong and empowered to do this. Now, the one thing I would say to keep in mind as the sun and these energies are traveling through this money house for you is that, first of all, too, Pisces can actually be a very social energy. Okay, so if you're making connections socially that have something to do with your money, Saturn is also in Pisces, so it's probably people that are going to be influential and help you come to the next level. They may have some mastery or authority in their own right, and they're now here helping you. It's like a really strong business opportunity, mentorship opportunity, or some kind of partnership like that. But the other thing is that two things, I guess, are kind of coming to mind for me at this time is, first of all, don't be paranoid. There can be paranoia when we deal with Piscean energy. There's never going to be enough. There's never been enough. It's not going to work out. How am I going to make it happen? And it can kind of be this, like you feel like you can't catch your breath, kind of energy that is vibrating right there. And instead, it's an opportunity to have the full assimilation of everything you've learned and you've experienced in your life, Aquarius. And what does that and how does that help you shape decisions about what is valuable, finances in your life, and your own creative skills and talents? And in that way, I think you're offered an opportunity to go beyond just learning and building this financial sector, but to really fully love yourself, to express a forgiveness for the ways that you have made mistakes in your growing journey, and to just really say, I love and I respect and I'm grateful for all of me. And from this starting point moving forward, here's what I believe about my value. I think it's a really lovely energy. Now, as we're going to close out this month, we've got a full moon happening on the 24th at 5 degrees of Virgo, and this will light up your 8th house space, okay? Now, the full moon is asking us to end something, to acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. So in the adjustment that we're being asked to make here, first of all, you can feel really inspired to do so. It's easy. You're like, you know what? I'm good. I feel good about the changes that need to be made here. However, this particular moon is also in trine to Jupiter. So you may be feeling like I want to make a lot of changes at once. And I'm just going to encourage moderation, 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 generosity. Be generous, accept generosity into your life. Jupiter in Taurus is a signature of generosity. Now, in the 8th house, we're talking about joint resources. Okay, so maybe something in your partnership, your partner's money. I'm telling you, death, debt, taxes, wills, estate planning, astrology, any of these places where you're going to have deeper connection, intimacy, sex, your reproductive organs, trauma, healing, coaching. In these places where you have a joint connection with another energy, you're being asked to course correct a little bit, but also to be wise and to be sharing and to be generous and let new relationships that come in be really intimately supportive of you without you pouring out your whole story to them within 5 minutes. Also, being in the 8th house, there is this signature to me of like even attracting someone to you, whether it is romantically or it's just in that deeper, intimate love kind of way, of someone who can genuinely hold you, right? They hold you emotionally. They're able to hold you psychically, philosophically. And in this way, you know, it's really a successful partnership that rises to the table from this full moon, because Virgo wants you to have the very best that you can and to be working with energy that is the most efficient for you. And Virgo will find that out, help you find that out by the process of discernment. Do I really have what is the best for me here? Is this really the best tax attorney for me? Is this really, you know, whatever? Or do I need to detox people, places, things, and items from my life so that I can have the most intimate connection with this value state in my life? So whatever it is for you, Aquarius, I hope you have a gorgeous birthday to my Aquarians on this half. Let me know how it's going in the comment section down below. I love you, and I will see you in March. Hello, my beautiful Pisces, and welcome to February of 2022, where Pisces, I get to tell you happy birthday, but of course, not until about mid-month. But for the first half of the Pisces crew coming in, you will be celebrating your birthday this month, and that is absolutely exciting. I hope you are doing something to, you know, even set up your own celebration of a rite of passage of another year alive, to stay in your practice, to stay in the growth, and to create something that you'd like to experience here, but definitely to fulfill whatever the map of the plan is that is laid out for you. But before we get there, Pisces, we need to delve into this Aquarius season, the second half of Aquarius season, and rest. We need to talk about how you are resting, what you've been working on behind the scenes, and how you have been moving in a way to rejuvenate yourself, to include looking at where you've detoxed some patterns of behavior that could have been your own undoing that really won't support you, Pisces, in moving forward to have the best year ever for yourself at birthday time. Now, a couple things to note. First of all of the planets are in direct motion, Pisces, so this is fantastic. It means in February, you have a green light. It's like green means go. Go do it. Go get it. Spiritually, you've got so many planets that are going to be in Aquarius in that 12th house space. So your 12th house of spirituality, behind the scenes, intuition is incredibly, incredibly strong. I also would wonder if it doesn't mean that your dream life or your life of symbols. And what I mean by that, Pisces, is that, you know, you're just out walking around and all of a sudden you look in different places that are unrelated and you see the numbers 3s, or you see a set of 16s, or you, right? Like, what is it that you see that's coming up in terms of patterning? Because you may be able to read patterns and symbols at an infinitely stronger level this particular month than maybe you could have even all year. So whatever that is, your spiritual life is on go and you have full permission to move forward with it, okay? Now, at the beginning of the month on the 5th, we're going to see Mercury move into the vibration of Aquarius. So, of course, lighting up this 12th house space. And this is the place of rest, rejuvenation. It's the things that are happening behind the scenes. And that means, you know, are you working on something or researching behind the scenes? Is it something going on in your immune system or something going on with maybe something in your life that needs treatment, but you can't see it until it presents itself. The example I always use here is something in the immune system or alcoholism and addiction, something like that, that can't really be seen until something physical makes itself known, okay? So there are many, many things that could be going on behind the scenes. Are you involved with someone who no one can know about in the daylight, right? All of these things fall into the 12th house space. But as equally, your spiritual practice, your creativity, the place and the well that you can go into to really rejuvenate and re-inspire yourself also lives in this 12th house space. So it's really, really busy and active this month. And as we get to the 9th, we're going to have a new moon happening at 20 degrees of Aquarius. So this is an opportunity for you to plant your seeds of intention to begin something new here in this 12th house space for you. What would you like to begin in this very hidden portion of your chart? You know, are you listening to the words of your ancestors? Are you called in between the worlds? Are you listening to your body? Is there something in you that says, I just need to dance, I need to paint, I need to sing in order to heal? What is it? Plant your seeds of intention to do this. Now, this particular moon is going to be squaring Uranus that's over in Taurus. So we've got a new moon that is squaring its ruler. So sometimes that can be a little sticky. But what it's going to call you to do, no matter what, is to take some kind of action. So what came up for me straight away when I was looking at this for you, Pisces, is that you might be like, yeah, I need to rest, I need to retreat, I need to do something like that, or I want to go to a retreat, or I want to do something like that, and you are posed with something blocking you or something standing in your way. Right? This could be, it's a moon, it's a lunar event. It could be a family member being like, yeah, no, I don't want you to do that. You can't go, or something that is creating kind of a block to you. And it will essentially upset you. It can make you mad. And you're like, no, I'm going to do it, because squaring that Uranian energy can be impulsive. And you're like, well, now I'm really going to do it. I'm really going to rest. You know what I mean? So it can be that kind of energy, but it can also be something, I think, different. Now, the other way that I could really see this going for you, Pisces, is that Uranian square instead becomes a helper to you, right? Where it's like, instead of just freaking out and you're going to like power rest or resentment rest at other people, it is like the straw that breaks the camel's back, where you're like, I have to rest now. You see a new perspective about the value of rest. And so you are put in a position here where maybe you even run up against yourself, and you are inviting now rest into your life, into your space. And I think that you will be all the better for it. Or you're listening to your intuition and your body a lot more clearly, where you're like, okay, maybe I do need to eat plant-based, or maybe I do need to bring this into my diet, take this out of my diet. Whatever it is, I think that there's a breaking point. Something happens that causes you to listen and act differently. Now, to help you with that action, on the 13th, we see Mars move into this Aquarian vibration. And on the 16th, we see Venus move in. So as these two, as the lovers are traveling here, making decisions and then taking action on them can feel a bit more inspired. And it can definitely feel like it's being done with a little bit more ease. You know what I mean? So, because I know something that can happen is, okay, fine, we've found the place, I'm ready, I'm surrendered, I'm ready to go to the next thing, I'm going to rest, and then the mind starts kicking in about, oh, is it okay for me to rest? Do I need to be doing things? But with Mars and Venus here, I think they give you a clear indicator to, really accept the rest with as a responsibility and as a right as well. Now, as we get to the 18th of the month, happy birthday, beautiful Pisces. You are in Pisces season. The sun comes into your sign. So welcome to your annual year, your personal fresh start. So the rest of us, we're starting in March. We go March 21st and start the new year, but yours starts right now. So happy birthday. On the 23rd, we will also welcome Mercury into your sign, bringing new information to you, of you, about you. Now, as Mercury comes here, It can also be a time where your social life gets busy because you're like, listen, I'm all rested. These people need to see me now, you know? It's like an emergence. You're done with hibernation, you're like, I need to go out. But also, truly, you may be feeling called to it. You may be feeling like, okay, I'm ready to come out. I have a little bit more clarity about where I want to go, what I'd like to achieve for my year. Maybe you're at the gym, you're working out in ways, or dancing and moving your bodies in ways with groups of people that feel very good to you. You know, you are just putting on a new dress or a new outfit of energy for yourself for the year. So you could find that your social life actually gets quite busy. As we're going to close out the month, we have got a full moon happening at 5 degrees of Virgo, which will light up just across the street. So it will light up the relationship house for you. Now, the full moon is going to ask us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. And here in the space of our conscious chosen one-on-one relationships, it is like there has to be an adjustment in some kind of conscious chosen important one-on-one significant relationship in your life. And of course, you've got the sun over in your energy and the moon is over here. So emotionally, you may be looking at, is this Virgo, the Virgo discerning, is this the very best for me that there is available? Am I the very best for this relationship, whether it's a business partnership, a romantic partnership? You know, how are you and whatever you call a higher power? How are you guys aligning? Do you feel like everything, everybody, every entity is coming to the table in a way that honors the success and the growth and the development of these conscious chosen one-on-one relationships? Now, in the 7th house, you may also have an illumination of a resolution of a situation with someone that is considered to be an open enemy, i.e., you know that there are problems there. So if you're getting a divorce, or you have a court case that is open, or you've got, you know, something that is in resolution, this full moon could also help you bring it to an end. All right, my beautiful Pisces, I hope you have a gorgeous start to your annual new year. Please let me know what your hopes and your dreams and your goals are for yourself in the comment section down below so I can hold space, hold a lot of love for you. And I look forward to walking with you from this birthday all the way till the next one. Have a great month, Pisces.